Hi, Miss Coleman. When I was 21 years old, to be exact, I had seizures. Yeah, they weren't on my second birthday. They were much earlier than that. Dad took me to Children's when he knew about the seizures. He thought he was to be first to the hospital before my first time, and that was the first seizure that happened. It happened. It was not. The day before, I had the seizures twice. Two different seizures. One Dad's very familiar with. The other one was a completely different one, and the one that Dad's familiar with me staring in a distance type of seizures, and the other one that I had um around Mom is I was uh, wiggling and twitching out of control, and when and foaming out of my mouth. Okay, now the one that I was staring in the distance, well, that happened first. Um, the other one happened second, obviously, and so the first one happened when me and Rachel were watching a movie, Transformers and Pokemon, the first movie, back to back. In the Transformers anime movie back to back, and I was having snacks in Cheetos and pizza, pepperoni pizza, I believe, and milk. I asked Dad to get me, get me red milk because I didn't know that the what the brand was called. So he just made the milk red with straw-based milk. I said, "No, red milk, Daddy." And and AG said he means regular. He's calling red milk because that's what the color of the hood brand. And I said to Daddy, and I shook my head, yeah, Daddy. And so I drank my milk, and before that, I took my medicine before I went to hang out with AJ. I took my medicine, okay? I took my medicine. I took my medicine, my overdose medicine given to me by mommy. Okay, so then I went into. I took my medicine in my room in the um corner one time. I don't know if it was this time or the day after. It was one of those ones. Maybe it was both. It was both. It was. It was the day after and the day before when I first had the seizures. I took my overdose medicine. So, anyway, I took my overdose medicine because mom was overdosing me, and she thought I needed that much. That wasn't very bright of her. She did a lot of stupid things. So, anyway, I took my overdose medicine, and then as I was watching and having Cheetos, uh, AJ asked, AJ knew that I was acting weird because I started staring in the distance. He asked if I believe he asked if I'm okay. And then, a minute later, I answered him. I said, I'm okay, AJ. I remember I had 3 seizures that day, not 2. And also earlier that day, I stand in the distance. Uh, this was in the morning when Deanna Lister came over. Deanna asked me if I was okay because she did this to me. Hello, Jake. She looked at me funny because she knew I wasn't feeling right. She told Daddy something's wrong with Jake. But Daddy didn't listen, if I remember correctly. I always say he didn't listen because he didn't do anything that day. Maybe it's because I had something to do with me saying, "What's wrong with Jake?" Maybe I distracted him and confused him. Could this be my fault? Hmm. I'm gonna have to talk to Daddy about this. Okay, so after that, then you know what happens. I had a seizure in the bed because I started staring in the distance. And I had a seizure with Deanna and Alyssa was there. And because I believe Deanna and Alyssa being around made me feel better. And I felt like I was more healthy around them physically. Mm. And anyway, I had the seizures in the bed while I was watching a movie with AJ, and before Deanna listened, said, "No, I can't. Deanna's going. I can't live without her." I said, and then the seizures happened, so I was kind of half right. So anyway, then after that, me and mommy decided to watch movies on VHS out in the porch. We watched Space Jam and Footloose. And sometime when we were watching Footloose, the seizures happened, and it was a different seizure. I started twitching and wiggling and foaming out of my mouth. And mommy cleaned up the foam off of my mouth and took me to the hospital. It was Yale Hospital, I believe. And we didn't came back until the next day. Daddy asked, why did I see any of this? He said. And I told him, "You did, Daddy. You thought I was dancing." Daddy was very scared. And Daddy saying that all of this made him nauseous and thinking about this. So, anyway. Um, Mommy, um, put me in the front seat without the baby seat because she couldn't find it and she was panicking, so she was in a rush and she didn't want Daddy to find out. And when I was then eventually when Mommy was driving, my mouth started foaming again. And she called her friend Debbie, and she says, "It's probably this is ADHD acting up," she said so happily. And she said, "Fuck you, Debbie." That I found funny. And I believe she told her to drop dead also. Although I can't remember what she said first, drop dead or fuck you, Debbie. I think she said fuck you first. So, anyway, Well, so we make it to Yale Hospital. They put me on anti-seizure medication, strong ones, and that also don't make you gain weight. And they work fine. They stopped the seizures, but then I came off of it. Please, Tone, I love you. Okay, I. So anyway, wait. I can just put the light on. So anyway, the next day, so they put me on the seizure med. I took those seizure meds overnight, and the next day after we checked out of the hospital, I remember mommy threw out the bag of the seizure medicine that Yale Hospital gave to her for my seizures, and I said, Mommy, what about my seizure medication? She said, you don't need any more. Your seizures cured. She thought my seizures were cured. My epilepsy was cured because they did their job. Mommy didn't realize you need to keep on taking them for them to work. I mean, I kind of thought that, but I assume mommy knew best, but she did not. So anyway, that day, when mommy and daddy were arguing, because mommy and daddy were arguing in the kitchen, and I was in my baby chair watching them, listening to them argue, and I was listening to arguing because they were arguing because dad was freaking out because wondering where she's been all night with me. Daddy was told that we were going to go to Toy Story to get me a VHS because they wanted new movies. That was a lie. We never came back with any movies, so that was freaking out. So mom then told him the truth and says, then told him she just came. I can't remember what she said. I think she just came up with all these excuses. So anyway, Dad noticed that I started to be very quiet, and he didn't really pick up that on the fact that I was having a seizure. He knew that I was staring in the distance, and he didn't pick up, I think, till the second time when I had the seizures that day. I think being with epilepsy and the overdosing that mommy was giving me is what caused the seizures. I think it was a bit of both. I mean, Dad agreed. So anyway, I was playing with my brother, and Mom, and AJ was in the room, and I was playing with my brother, Batman, and we watched the Tim Burton Batman film, the first one. And after we finished watching the first one, but before that we watched the second one. So we watched the sequel and then the first one. And then we were playing Batman, dressing up as Batman and the Joker. So anyway, and playing some Power Rangers and running around and playing. So anyway, mom told me it's time to take my medicine. So AG was in the room when he took when I was taking this medicine this time. So anyway, mommy gave me. She always gave me my medicine. This time it was in it was an orange juice, I think. Because the night before I threw up, me and AG on Ilios. So Dad was told that I had to go to. It was told to my mom when they were out here that she had to write to CVS to get me medicine so baby doesn't throw up again because I think he has a weak stomach. He must have a weak stomach. So anyway, that was in line because she never got that. That was a lie because she never got that. So I only took my regular medicine, my regular overdose medication, the same amount and stuff. And as usual, she always break up the cap open and poured in all the stuff into my drink. Each capsule gently opened them up and poured them into my drink, which made me lose the taste, which made me very unhungry for till 5, which is when she stopped doing it, because she started giving me this medicine, overdosed me at 0. So yeah, so I kept on telling everyone in the family, including Daddy, don't worry, I didn't contact Daddy. I told them I can't taste anything with food anymore. And Mommy told everyone, convinced everyone, including Daddy. I guess she convinced Dad that she just told everyone I was just being a picky eater. And I said, Mommy, no, that's not true. You know that. It's because of the medicine I take and makes my taste buds numb. And if therefore everything just tastes disgusting like medicine. I found out years later that's not how babies are supposed to give medicine to Miss Comer. Mommy told me that that's how little kids, especially babies, are supposed to take their medicine. I didn't like that, but I didn't want to argue with my bitch. I figured she knew what was best for my health. Turns out that was wrong. And I found that at the age 20 or 21. 20. I found at age 20 and I'm 22 now. So I found that out a while ago. So anyway, so after Mommy gave me my overdose medicine in front of Daisy while I was in the corner drinking my orange juice that Mommy put all the medicine in, I went back to playing with Daisy, and then when I was standing on the stairs and it was a red dark carpet on the stairs, I started to just stare at it and stare at it. Daddy didn't know what it was. He thought it was just being cute. But then he realized that I wasn't responding or anything to him. So he took me to Children's. Therefore, is when I got the spinal tap. I was supposed to get an MRI, but Mommy told the nurses and doctors, to hold me down and restrain me and give me a spinal tap. And also supposed to be for MRI. And they thought I was 6 because that's what Mommy told them. They told me to stop and yelled at me and told me to stop yelling and were being mean and while they were restraining me. And told me to stop acting like a baby. And I said, I am a baby. I'm only 1 year old. And he told me, no, you're not, so shut up. So, anyway, I got a spinal tap. Eventually, I got that MRI after the second time after Dad carried me out of Children's because of what he did. So it was a different time I got an MRI, I think, at Children's. And anyway, another time at Lake House School, this teacher made fun of me for being afraid of a zombie invasion. And I got offensive and mad about it. And I came with all these things, you don't believe in diseases and stuff, and I just ramble on about it, and it hurt my feelings, and all this made me very depressed. Memories. That's all.